YouTubers, this is Cowside Chat with Jamie. I thought I would make this video about animal husbandry, where we get our food, and what the most humane way to eat meat is, in my opinion. There's a lot of people out there who stopped eating meat solely because they don't like how animals are raised, but there are other options, and you can raise your animals in such a way that they only see a wonderful life full of food, sunshine, green grass. The benefit to raising your own animals for your table is that you can raise them however you see fit. So if you don't agree with how factory farms are raising their animals or keeping their animals or feeding their animals or even putting them down through the slaughterhouse, you can alter any part of the raising and slaughter process so you can feel comfortable with consuming your own meat or dairy. I like being able to raise our own animals for slaughter in a way that is calm and instant. No stress. All the animal has ever known is a full belly, sunshine, and happy days. And the end is calm, quiet, or very, very quick. Our family also likes to pray before we kill an animal. We thank God for the animal and for feeding us, and we thank the animal for their sacrifice, because after raising it, you have a relationship with the animal. Our family thinks that's really important, to have a relationship with your food, because we're really supposed to be stewards of God's creatures. And if we don't have an understanding of where our food comes from, we end up wasting a lot more of it when we're sitting down to eat. And we don't think about the animal that had been living to feed us. Our society has a problem with death. They like to hide it and cover it up and make it a taboo subject. But death comes for everything, and that's something that we keep in mind when we're raising our animals. It's something we keep in mind as Orthodox Christians, to always keep death at the forefront of our minds, because it's coming and we need to be prepared for it. As stewards of the earth and of the animals, we need to take good care of them. We need to be mindful of our actions and what we're doing. We don't see animals as something that we can just use and abuse. A steward takes care of a garden, for example. Everything a gardener does to tend to a garden helps the garden grow and flourish and produce more good things. A lot of folks seem to think that they just have dominion over everything, and they're just going to use it because they can and it's theirs, and if they want to, they will. But I see that as an abuse of what the earth was made for, what we were made for. We're all supposed to be in communion with God's creation and with God. I think our culture has lost its connection with its food. So people will go out to eat or make food at home and waste a whole bunch of it and just toss it. And it doesn't matter anything to them. But something happens to you when you've spent each day looking at the animal, feeding it, caring for it, enjoying its company, enjoying its time on the farm. And then when it's time to put it in the freezer, there is a sense of loss, but also a sense of joy for having your freezer filled for the year. And because you know that animal, you know what you fed it, you know what it did each day, you had a relationship with it, you don't as easily waste food. You actually think about, well, this is bacon or pork chop or Bambino. That was one of our calves once. And you don't want to waste anything that they gave you. Here in the U.S., they even have packages of meat with no bones at all, and then sometimes people get grossed out by being able to see the bones. When we lived in the Middle East, you could go into the grocery store and go to the butcher area, and they would have the carcasses, the hanging carcasses, on a hook in a cooler with the window, so you could see the cuts you were getting. You could ask for a particular cut, but here you would not see that. It would just mortify people in the United States. But we need to keep in mind that meat came from a living thing. That's just how it is. If you're not okay with seeing the body of an animal that is going to be your food, maybe you shouldn't eat meat. I prefer to be comfortable killing and processing an animal myself or with my family, and knowing I knew that animal. I know how it died. I know that we did our best to care for it and give it a wonderful life. But you don't know that on the shelves at the store. You don't know how that animal lived at all. You can get an idea of what, commercial farming industry does, but overall, you don't know. I'm not completely against ag industry at all. I think that anything that was raised by your own hand is just better than anything you can get at the store. There's more rich flavor because you're feeding your animal a diet that is closer to something that they would have in nature compared to factory farm type situations. They want a standardized product like milk and everything else. So they're not going to feed an animal a varied diet. They want everything to come out almost exactly the same. It's much more predictable, and the customer gets used to that predictability. But on the farm, you may get a heritage pig that gets a lot more fat than a pig from the grocery store. And you'll have much more flavor. You might have a varying color in meat. Instead of a light pink, you might have a deep red, almost like beef, in a heritage pig. The longer an animal can live in the sunshine with fresh food, the healthier they'll be. They'll have more vitamins in their fat for you later. And saturated fat is not a bad thing. That is what our brains are made of. We need a lot of cholesterol and saturated fat for a healthy brain. It helps with brain function. It helps bring fat-soluble vitamins to your body that can't be found elsewhere. And even if you take fat-soluble vitamins like A, E, D in like a capsule, it's not the same thing. They have to be delivered to your body with saturated fat. Your body can utilize the vitamins a lot easier that way and bring it to where it needs to go within your body. To have a relationship with your food means you have a much healthier understanding of where food comes from, animal husbandry, and proper nutrition for your body and for the animal. If we didn't eat meat, maybe we switched to lab-grown meat. Where do you think all those animals across the globe would go? It's billions of animals. They would cease to exist. Eventually, we would have to get rid of them, because if no one is caring for them and raising them, then we have nothing. There's no purpose for them because they're domesticated and they've been alongside humans for millennia. A pointless slaughter and then ceasing to exist entirely would be a very sad thing. Humanity has lived alongside animals for so long that it actually helped us build immunity to diseases and helped civilization thrive. If we get rid of them or feel like we need to just eat lab-grown meat, all of those creatures will be gone, along with the health benefits across the board that come with them. It's our job to care for the creation around us in a loving way, because God created it with love and He didn't give it to us to abuse. I know if I worked on a garden or worked on like raising an animal and I gave it to someone else to manage and they did a poor job, I wouldn't be a very happy camper. And I feel like that's what we're doing. I think there needs to be a balance between respecting the earth but not worshiping it, and eating meat but not overdoing it. And I think that's a good goal. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to help our channel grow. If you have any suggestions for topics you would like me to discuss, please post it in the comments section and I will make a running list of all the videos and topics. Good girl. Oh, she's still stretching. All right.